Let's discuss this further. We have with us Dr. Aslam Dasoo joining us live via Zoom from Johannesburg. Doctor, welcome to the program. Welcome to Africa Live. Now, the WHO chief says if the world can vaccinate 70% of its population, then the acute phase of the pandemic could end this year. Do you see this target as likely, Doctor?
Good afternoon. Thank you for inviting me. Yes, I think that's eminently reasonable as a proposition. Look, when Omicron, this latest variant, swept around the world, we observed a step change in the nature of the illness of COVID, and mainly the decoupling between the number of cases and the incidence of severe disease and death compared to previous waves caused by other variants. Now, this indicated that we may have been moving already into a new phase of the pandemic. Expert opinion around the world and here in South Africa certainly was converging on this view that we may be exiting the emergency phase or the acute phase of the pandemic towards a greater endemicity during the course of 2022, which is regarded as a pivot year in the course of the pandemic. So yes, overall, that's, I think, the correct assessment to make. Of course, we are aware that, this is not a crystal ball prediction, and that, conditions may change, for which we have to be alert.
All right, Doctor, important points that you've made there, but let's look into your crystal ball. If it happens, how different will things be after the acute phase is over, and how normal would life become at that point? From your perspective, Doctor, how do you see it?
Okay, so what I think is likely to occur is a return to a fair amount of normalcy. When I say normalcy, it's with the understanding that we can never revert to a pre-COVID existence, knowing that the virus will still be circulating if it's turning endemic, and that we will still get the occasional resurgence. However, if the new variants causing these resurgences are of the nature of Omicron or similar or milder, then we may be moving to a situation where people can resume normal activity, provided that we take certain sensible precautions at this stage while the virus is circulating. Over time, however, in the next couple of years, we may see the virus settling into a pattern similar to seasonal illnesses such as the flu, and where we will require a shot annually or biannually. The WHO's view that we need 70% of the world immunized for this to occur is, I think, valid. But in Africa, and this is a very important consideration, our rates of vaccination are only around less than 10%. One would say on average. Certain countries, of course, are higher than others. But what this means is that we will still move into an endemic phase because there is a high degree of natural immunity as well that also prevents the occurrence of severe disease. This is particularly important that in that it's okay for the future, but it's come at a huge cost, as you understand, that majority of the deaths have occurred in unvaccinated people. And, had we had high rates of vaccination, we would have avoided those deaths and still been in concert with the rest of the world as far as the pandemic is concerned.
All right, Dr. Aslam, let's leave it there. We appreciate your expertise on this matter. There you have it. The WHO chief says the acute phase could end this year if about 70% of the world is vaccinated.